rubbing shoulders with celebrities. Former President Trump visited a Detroit church in a bid to court black voters.
President Trump, I'm so humbled that you would be here. President Obama never came to the hood, so to speak, right? President Joe Biden, he went to the big NAACP dinner, but he never came to the hood. So thank you. I believe
Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor, and he joins us now. Joe, you would think that those pastors' comments would be at least a big part of the story covering this trip that Donald Trump took over the weekend. But here is the media coverage of it. The Washington Post writes, Trump portrays rampant crime in speech at black church in Detroit. And the AP's headline is, Trump blasts immigrants for taking jobs as he courts voters at a black church and MAGA event in Detroit. The tone of those headlines, Joe, is notable.
Portrays rampant crime. Yeah, like he's making it up. No, this is something that people are feeling in places like Detroit. Carly, Todd, great to see you, by the way. And you know what's funny? I saw an X post from Don Lemon, the former CNN anchor, scare quotes, and he basically said it was impossible for him to believe that Donald Trump could possibly have that kind of black support in places like Detroit, with Don Lemon implying the whole scene you see, on your screen was likely staged somehow. It wasn't, and the momentum behind Trump is quite real. Not only among black voters, by the way, but Hispanic voters, independent voters, women voters, and according to a forecast released by The Economist over the weekend, Donald Trump now has a 69% chance of winning back the presidency, while Joe Biden's chances are 31%. That's less than 1 in 3. We've never seen numbers like this before for Trump. And turning to Hollywood may help Biden juice his numbers in places like Hollywood and Beverly Hills. Great. But it only underscores the fact that Democrats are now not the party of working men and women as they used to be, but as the party of elites in coastal cities east and west. And while its leader, by the way, in Joe Biden, in public appearances, like we saw at the G7, looks more like the Madame Tussauds version of himself, looking like he was injected with formaldehyde, right? So Donald Trump, if he has 15% support among black voters in Michigan, according to one poll, other numbers have him higher than that. That may sound small on the surface, but it's not. If those numbers hold in places like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, among black voters, Joe Biden is burnt toast, Todd.
I think you nailed the key point here. This is less and less about black versus white, minority versus white. This is more about elites versus the rest of us. And I think that's what that appearance underscored most of all. Also, Joe, one thing we'll be watching for this week in the media, we'll probably talk to you about it later on. How is the media going to spin Barack Obama guiding Joe Biden off stage this weekend? Because last week, when it was the situation there watching the paratrooper land, it was Trump has dementia. Somehow that came out of thin air.
Made the cover of the New York Post, so we did see it there. Joe, thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.